What is up, math superstars? In this edition of Mr. Peterson Presents, we're going to talk about how to find the different measures of center. So the first part of this video is we're talking about how to find the mean. So when we talk about the mean, other ways you might have heard this is you might have heard it as a fair share, or you might have heard it as a balance point. So when we use these different terms, if we're talking about finding the fair share or the balance point, is we're figuring out what the mean is. And so to find the mean, all we're going to do is we're going to add up all of our data points, and then we're going to divide by the number of data points that we have. So we have this data set right here. So inside our set, so the set has the squiggly brackets. And so we have 2, 3, 2, 1, and 2. And so our first step says to add up the data points. And so when we do that, they add up to 10. So 2 plus 3 plus 2 plus 1 plus 2. Our second step is we're going to divide by the number of data points. So when we count the data points, so we have 1, 2, 3, 4. We have 5 data points. That's what we're going to divide by. So 10 divided by 5 gives us the mean of 2. But another measure of center is called the median. And so we're going to figure out how to find the median. So the median is just the middle number of the data set when arranged in ascending order. And so ascending order is going to be least to greatest. So our first step says to arrange the data points. So here we go. We've arranged them. And now we need to figure out what the middle number is. And so what we do is we cross out the smallest and the biggest, and then the smallest and the biggest. And then what now we are left with 2. And so we're going to say that the median is 2. So now the third measure of center is the mode. And so to find out the mode, it is the data point that occurs the mode. The mode is the most in our data set. So what we have is we order them from least to greatest here. And we figure out which one occurs the most. And we can see that we have 3 2s. And so I can say that the mode is 2. So now how to find the range. The range describes the variation of data. So what that means is we're figuring out the difference. So difference means we're subtracting the greatest number from the smallest number. So we look at our data set here. So we have it ordered from least to greatest. Our biggest point is 3, and our smallest point is 1. So what we're going to do is we're going to do 3 minus 1, and we can say that the range of this data is 2. So now what happens if we have a line plot here? And so with a line plot, we have to gather some data off of our line plot. So we're going to be focused on the data first. So the way we read this line plot, let's look at all the numbers here. So when we look at 0, there are no x's here for 0. So we're not going to have any zeros in our data. Now when we take a look at 1, 1 has 2 x's. So the way I write this in my data, I'm going to use the squiggly bracket. And then I'm going to write 1, comma 1. So because there are 2 x's, and that gives me 2 of the number 1. So when we look at 2, there's just 1 x. So that means there's just going to be 1, 2. So 3 has nothing. So we're not going to write 3 in our data. 4 has 1 x. So there would be a 4. 5 has 3 x's. That's going to tell me I'm going to write 5 3 times. 2, 3. And then I'm going to write 6 once. And I'm going to write 7 once. And for 8, there is no data. So I'm going to end it with my squiggly bracket here. And so now I need to figure out the mean, median, mode, and range here. So the mean is I'm going to add up all the data points first. So I have 1 plus 1 plus 2 plus 4 plus 5 plus 5 plus 5 plus 6 plus 7. When I add all of those together, so I have 1 plus 1 is 2, 2 plus 2 is 4, 4 plus 4 is 8, 8 plus 5 is 13. 13 plus 5 is 18. 18 plus 5 is 23. 23 plus 6 is 29. And 29 plus 7 is 36. So for the mean, I'm taking 36 and I'm dividing it by the number of data points I have. So I have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9 data points. So 9 goes into 36 4 times evenly. So I can say that the mean is 4. Let's take a look at the median now. So for the median, I'm going to use my data up here because my data is already arranged from least to greatest. So when I do this, I'm going to cross out the smallest and the biggest. And I'm going to repeat this pattern until I find that middle number here. And my middle number is going to show up as the number 5. So I got my median for my data point is 5. And then mode is the most. And so you have, so we're going to look at the line plot. We notice that 5 has 3 x's. So I can say that the mode for this set of data is going to be 5. And then the range is going to be the difference between the biggest number and the smallest number. So my biggest number is 7. And my smallest number is 1 here. So I'm going to do 7 minus 1. So my range is going to give me 6. So the difference from the biggest number to the smallest number.